What's up, guys? Welcome back to FishOfHex. Today I'm going to talk about my Neptune Apex aquarium controller, some of the issues I've had with it over the last few weeks, kind of how I've gone about addressing these issues, and yeah, some of the things that are still going on that need to be fixed. Now, as you guys can see here, I have all three of my systems in the fish room connected to the Apex. We have the frag tank on the left, the 300 in the middle, and the 30-gallon Chaeto build on the right-hand side. Now, let's address the 30-gallon first. Now, when I put that system together, basically 3 videos ago, I added the Apex to that tank, or basically added the tank to the Apex. And I used a used PM1 module as well as a Eba Bar. Now, all this stuff was originally on that Zeobit system I had in the little fish room, and they ended up getting wet when that Zeobit system failed because of that turbo snail and causing the water to get on it. Now, I did let both of those modules actually dry out for about a year, and I figured everything was good. I connected it and everything, worked well. All the outlets worked, so I figured it was good to go. Now, basically, since I connected that system to my Apex, I've been having these random shutoffs for the entire system. It's only for about 20 seconds or so, but the entire system will basically shut off, 20 seconds later, come back on, and it happens multiple times a day. Now, I did address all this with Neptune, and they said that it could be the wireless signal, so I went ahead and actually took my system off wireless and ran a Cat5 cable through the floor all the way up to the router, and that did minimize some of the issues. Basically, now it's only once every other day or so, better than a couple times per day, but it shuts off. Now, I'm thinking it has to do with the Eba Bar or the PM1 module because they did get wet. There might be a short or something going on in there. So I went ahead and actually ordered a new Eba Bar from BRS, and that will be here Monday. So I'll go ahead and add that to the system, and hopefully that will fix the shutoff for the entire system. Now, moving on to the 300-gallon. I did pick up a single Radion xr15 for that system, and you guys will see that in a later video, but I've been having a lot of problems with that light since I got it. Now, at first, it started off with the WXM module. When I went ahead and added that module, it needed to be updated, the firmware. Now, during that updating process, the firmware actually failed, and I had to have Neptune come in and literally spend 2 hours going through and wiping the firmware off of that module, uploading a new one, and eventually it worked just fine. Now, I did go ahead and connect the not the WXM, but the Radion to the WXM module, and it seemed to be working okay for a couple days, and then it started shutting off randomly. Now, I figured maybe it was a connection issue, something was going on, so I know that you can run the Radions through the Ecotech Smart Live module, or basically the website here. You can go ahead and do all the programming there instead of having it connected to the one link or the WXM. It can just run on its own. So I went ahead and put a schedule in there today, and basically every time that the light turned on, it would go ahead and turn off, turn on, turn off, turn on, and it would do that probably 10 or 15 times and then finally turn off completely. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. Now, I went ahead and actually reconnected that light to the WXM because it wasn't shutting off as often. But then I figured out when I was doing the programming here, we'll come down to the Radion, when I actually programmed it, if I went above 80%, the light would shut off within 5 seconds of actually turning on. Now, I'm thinking it has to do with the power supply. I checked the power supply, and I was reading some forums where people got the wrong power supply for the light, and it says that it's only rated for 90 watts, and this light actually goes up to 95 watts. So I'm thinking maybe I have the wrong power supply, or the wrong, it was sent with the light, the incorrect one, and that might be part of the issue. But regardless, I talked to Neptune earlier this morning, and I'll have a new light at my doorstep tomorrow morning. So I will just swap it out. I will double check the power supplies and see if maybe it was a different one. But either way, I know that my WXM module works good, but now I'm having issues with that light if I go over 80% intensity. Now, I will say, guys, when I was running at 100% intensity at this particular setup, with the reds being about 10%, as well as the greens about 10%, and then 100% on everything else except for the cool white and the regular white, I was getting about 250 par at the bottom glass of this 300-gallon tank. Pretty much one light takes care of an entire rock structure, so it's definitely not going to take very many lights to get the overall par in the tank that I want. Now, I do plan on adding at least 8 of these lights overall, but 4 will definitely allow me to grow coral. And speaking of coral, I went ahead and added a whole bunch of Acropora to the single rock colony today. And of course, the light stopped working shortly after adding all those corals, so I've been dealing with that throughout the day. But yeah, so those are just some of the issues I've had with my controller over the last 3 weeks or so. And frankly, it's a huge pain in the ass because all three of my systems, my business and everything runs off of this controller. And to have it turning off and on without knowing why, and then you spend all that money on a Radion and it just doesn't work the way it should. It's very frustrating. And all I can say is it's good to keep your receipts. It's good to have warranty on all your products, and Neptune is really good about that, and Ecotech. I mean, they didn't even bat an eye when they were going to send a new one. Literally 3 minutes on the phone, the guy's like, okay, I got a new one coming to your house tomorrow. So I really do appreciate the support through Neptune, back and forth emails. I mean, at least 100 emails so far over the last 3 weeks, and I mean, I can't say enough good things about Neptune support as well as Ecotech. So you spend the money, so you should get that kind of support. But yeah, that's kind of my rambling about my controller. Now, I do have to get the video out for the canopy and the lighting and all that stuff for the 300. I am a little bit behind schedule on that, but you guys should expect that video probably Monday or Tuesday, and then we're going to continue on with the whole build series and all that kind of stuff. But all right, if you guys have any questions about the controller, or if you've dealt with this before, feel free to put that stuff in the comment section below, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.